Something's off at the top. The same people who swore to drain the swamp are now swimming laps in it, smiling for the camera while the American people drown underneath, man. Every week it feels like the curtain drops a little further and the illusion we bought into is starting to crack. Okay. Now tonight, I'm going to first start talking about word breaks that there's a possible pardon on the horizon for Sam Bankman-Fried from none other than Donald Trump. He's considering it. Now, this is the crypto fraudster who pumped millions of stolen dollars through Democrat funnels like ActBlue, bankrolling the very establishment that tried to destroy him in 2016. If that doesn't tell you how power really works in this town, man, nothing will. Bankman-Fried wasn't just a thief. He was the perfect swamp creature, young, innovative, hiding his crimes behind the screen of philanthropy and climate talk, right? And now somehow this guy might walk free under the same president who promised justice. You can call it strategy. You can call it optics. I call it betrayal. Because when you pardon the man who funded your enemies, you're not fighting the system anymore. You're joining it. Maybe that's the lesson. Washington doesn't get reformed. It recruits people. And if you recall, a few days ago, he pardoned another crypto guy. You have to wonder why all these crypto guys are getting pardoned. This guy from Binance, he was pardoned. Trump says he don't even know the guy. Why'd you grant him a pardon a month ago? Anyway, it's crazy, man. They recruit. They're not draining the swamp. They're getting recruited. Okay. And then we have none other than Kash Patel. He was once considered the pit bull of the Trump years, man. And people were like, man, I can't wait to get Kash in, because Kash went on podcasts talking about he was going to dismantle the FBI, right? Day one, he said. Day one, Kash Patel. Now he's the head of the FBI and apparently running public relations defense for his girlfriend online. Don't believe me? While national security burns, we have him defending his girlfriend. He took to social media not to brief the country on threats, not to calm the chaos, but defend his girlfriend, country music star, who has a questionable background, from internet gossip. Okay? You can see here, let's be clear, not to be distracted by baseless rumors of the noise from the uninformed internet, anarchists, and fake news. I've always said, criticize me all you want, but going after the people doing great work, my personal is a total disgrace. And then he goes on to say, it's disgustingly baseless attacks. Talking about his girlfriend's a true patriot and the woman I'm proud to call my partner in life. This is his girlfriend, not he's not married. Or beyond pathetic. She is a rock-solid conservative and country music sensation who has done more for this nation than most will in 10 lifetimes. Really? Really? How many times has she been deployed? I'm so blessed she's in my life. Attacking her isn't just wrong, it's cowardly and jeopardizes our safety. My love of family will always be my cornerstone, and you'll never tear that down or keep me from them. Your girlfriend isn't your family, dog. It's not your family. It's a girlfriend. It's a blip on the radar. Until you put a ring on it, dog, it's not. He said, I and this FBI will stay laser focused on our mission and continue to reform what we promised, rebuilding the Bureau from the ground up. It doesn't seem like it because you hadn't got rid of any of those FBI agents you said you were going to get rid of. All those dirtbags. And meanwhile, you're spending your time defending your girlfriend. That's what you're doing. During the Charlie Kirk assassination, he was developing a challenge coin. They look corny as hell. I showed a picture of it the other week. It's like a Punisher skull and this and that. I mean, just corny. He's got a dollar sign and for the S, like a rapper. I'm not real certain what's this guy's MO, but sure isn't about America. And he goes on to say, and to our supposed allies staying silent, your silence is louder than the clickbait hater. So now he's calling why anybody who claims to be a conservative or MAGA isn't defending his girlfriend too. Because it's corny. It's lame. I don't know how old this guy is. Maybe I'm older than him or something, but because I'm an old man. But I mean, this is high school bullshit is what this is. It's ridiculous. It's a joke, and we're not taken serious as a country with this kind of nonsense. Really, it's astounding. And where's Dan Bongino? Has anybody seen for that guy? Because somebody send out a lifeline. We need to just check in and make sure Dan Bongino is still around, because I've not seen that dude. And for years he was on podcasts saying he would do this, that, and he's there, and he's vanished. He's vanished. Meanwhile, the corruption is going on. It's kind of like with the Epstein files. Man, I'm to the point, like I have another theory, possibly maybe Epstein's still alive and still working for these deep state darkness. That's why Trump's calling it a hoax. Because they don't want to give away that he's still alive, still doing the same job that he was doing for Mossad or whoever else he's working for, right? Because Dan Bongino almost spit that out of his mouth years ago on a podcast saying that he was working for Mossad. And then now Dan Bongino's missing. Kash Patel's defending his girlfriend, and that's where we are, man. We're not a serious nation anymore, man. While the Bureau leaks, while grocery prices soar, free speech is still suppressed, the man at the top is tweeting heart emojis about his love life. And right when that circus kicked off, reports surfaced of allegations that Patel has had past financial ties to Shein, a parent company, a Chinese-linked firm that is accused of everything from slave labor, supply chains to data theft. You don't believe me? You can go on daggum TikTok and you'll see people around the world boycotting Shein because of child slave labor. If even half of that's true, then the rod has reached the command post. And that means America's intelligence gatekeeper might have been standing at the wrong gate. None of it makes sense. I mean, man, you connect the dots, power, money, silence, and you start to see the picture no one wants to admit. Trump's floating pardon for Democrat donor. Just dropped one for another guy, right? Patel caught in a firestorm of his own making. And right behind that, another name, one that I've talked about quite extensively, is Matthew Livelsberger. Green Beret who detonated the Cybertruck outside Trump's Vegas hotel on New Year's Day. You remember that guy? Not much chatter. He kind of shut down. The official story is a closed case. Some guy was doing some problems, and that's what the story is. But you know, as we were digging, we saw a lot more that just didn't add up. The reality is now the Department of War, right? The Department of War has basically classified the manifesto under national security. New York Post released an article today talking about that. Listen to this. They said his manifesto was national security. Let that sink in. Now, he was a special forces soldier, okay? Supposedly by his own hand. Leaves behind a written statement. We saw some of it, right? But this one, this 6-page manifesto, we're not allowed to read it because it's considered a security threat. You have to ask yourself why. What the hell could have been that powerful? What did he know? What was he trying to warn us about? Right? He rented the truck on Turo. That's a picture of it before the event happened. And became crickets. They found an ID card, some weapons in there, and that he'd been working with ChatGPT to design this whole plan. Now, but here's the part that nobody's connecting. When Livelsberger explosion happened at the Trump Hotel, the country was in the middle of a drone storm no one could explain, and pretty much no one's talking about now. See, I don't forget things. That's one thing. If you watch my channel, I'm going to bring up things that you've forgotten about. You're not paying attention to. You're on to the next Sydney Sweeney ad or what the hell ever is on this week. Golden Corral, Cracker Barrel, whatever it is. Anyway, I bring this up all the time, the drones. Okay. No one could explain them. It was up in the Northeast. Entire police departments were tracking unidentified craft. Big, fast, and silent. Not the plastic toys you go buy at Best Buy. These things were the size of Escalades, Cadillac Escalades, moving faster than any law enforcement drone could chase. They couldn't keep up with it. I showed plenty of videos on that. And if you want to, you just go type in and look at these old Matthew Livelsberger videos, and I go through a lot more detail than what I'm going to go tonight, because I'm not going to rehash everything I've talked about. But one officer, if you remember, I showed the video. She reported seeing them rise out of the Atlantic Ocean. And she said that she had video. Right now in the report, she's saying on camera, like, hey, I have video of it. I saw them come out of the ocean. That clip vanished. The account locked, file gone. Hadn't heard from that woman again. Where's she at? Can somebody send a lifeline to her? We don't know. The administration, Biden administration, came out saying the same line they always do. They're just hobbyist drones. Nothing to see here. Move along, peasant. That's what they said. Hobbyist. Dude, show me a hobbyist flying the drone the size of a Hummer, military-grade speed, from the open ocean. You can't, because that tech doesn't exist on the civilian market. And now back then, if you recall, I showed the video of this. I showed the videos. You can go watch them. I showed Trump. He was saying he would declassify the truth once he took office, because this is right before the election. He called the silence worrisome, he said. He said the public deserved to know what was in the sky. 2 weeks later, he was sworn in, and his spokesperson, Karen Levitt, stepped up to the podium and told America they were just hobbyist drones, the same thing that Joe Biden's people said. So then I'm like really scratching my head. What? Where can you buy one? I want to see where you buy these drones at. Let me see. I've got some drones. Let me see these drones. Just like that, man, the story is buried. Right? Here it is here. Keep the Livelsberger Manifesto under wraps. There was also some oddities in the report. I looked through the report today that did get released. There were some oddities on response time, who set up the CP, the command post, and all these sort of things. A lot of oddities, just like Vegas shooters, just like a lot of other things, a lot of oddities. Okay? Got a video on this, but you can go watch it. So if you don't believe me, I showed the receipts. What we had is Livelsberger's gravesite. They changed the name. There's no headstone, nothing there, unmarked. Odd, right? But when we're talking back to the story buried, the footage gone, right? Pilots unidentified. Stuff come out of the ocean. We find out that China proudly unveiled its drone carrier mothership. What? Nobody remember that. Coincidence, maybe, but every pattern starts with a denial that sounds exactly like that, because now the whispers are circling that his background in drone intelligence might connect something much bigger. Because if you recall, Matthew Livelsberger, although he was a special operations guy, Green Beret, he got promoted into a drone group. And that's what his new specialty was. He went to schooling for that, and that's what he was working on. That we as civilians didn't know. He also, in his letters that he sent out to people, he taught in anti-gravity technology. And that these things that he said essentially the enemy had were much more advanced than anything we have that he had seen. So we have China publicly rolling out, they have some kind of mothership, drone carrier, right? The Zhu Haiyun, capable of launching fleets of autonomous air, sea, and subsurface drones. We've seen a lot of weird things in the water too. They call it the world's first intelligence unmanned system mothership. Things completely unmanned. How many of those are floating around the U.S. that they're just saying, oh, nothing to worry about. Kash is worried about his girlfriend. That's not fiction. That's their own press release, guys. That's not conspiracy theory. So while Washington obsesses over gossip, Beijing's building freaking Skynet at sea. Okay. And a U.S. Special Forces soldier who might have seen it up close is gone. File sealed, end of story. You tell me that's coincidence. You tell me that's not the same machine protecting itself. Every time someone steps too close to the truth, the file gets stamped classified. The narrative gets flipped. And the country moves on like it never happened to the next escapade. The swamp doesn't drain, man. It absorbs. We've seen it. We've seen it. And dude, if you are in disagreement with me, I was with you. I was with you before. before I started paying attention. Maybe start paying attention to what's going on around you, because this is not what we signed up for. The deeper and deeper it gets, the quieter it becomes, right? But then, you know, let me just step off for a minute, because sometimes you see something that just cuts through the noise, man. One of my subscribers here, he posted this, Ronnie posted something that stopped me cold, man, because I love seeing this. He said he's been in the gym for 2 months straight, no energy drinks, no junk food, no excuses, recovering from a knee surgery, walking closer with God, leading his family, becoming hard to kill. And that is it right there. That's the antidote to the decay, because while the elites play God with nations, men like Ronnie build themselves brick by brick. And in Ronnie's message there, he said he sees one-legged veterans crushing the weights beside him. It reminds him there are no excuses, because there's not. I've seen them too. Missing limbs in the gym, getting it. You know, that's part of the real resistance. Not no hashtags, no talking points. It's discipline, faith, work. Every rep in the gym is a rebellion against weakness. Every drop of sweat is declaration day. You refuse to become another casualty of this collapsing empire, because at the end of the day, no one is coming. None of these people we thought, right? We thought these people are going to come drain the swamp like we thought, but they freaking joined the swamp. I seen Lindsey Graham talking tonight a bunch of nonsense again, because you know he talks all the Republican talking points right before election. Now, this is the mission, guys. While they rewrite the headlines, we rewrite ourselves. Sharpen your body, fortify your mind, reconnect to your creator, the creator. You make yourself a weapon no system can domesticate. They may classify the truth, but they can't classify strength. Being hard to kill, being impossible to control, develop outside systems, build your tribe, right? And this is the thing, people always say, well, what side are you on? When people ask you what side you're on, man, you stand tall, you look them dead in the eye, and you tell them you're on the side of truth. You're on the side of the men who refuse to bow. You take this spirit, you build your tribe. Because it's only going to get worse before it gets worse. And that's why working outside the financial systems, bartering, growing your own food, and also, I mean, money's great. Financial warfare protocol, if you have not, go get it. Go get it today. Don't wait. It'll change your life in many ways. It's not just a finance book, I promise you. Just even go read the comments on the page. I promise you, it will change your life. It is the plan. And it talks about grid down survivability. Okay, it doesn't just talk about money in the sense of earning money now, but black swan scenarios. It talks about all these things. And no, I wasn't planning the pitch that, but it's true, because I pour my heart and soul to that. It's what I live, what I prepare for, and everything. It's not just a book about money. It's a book about mind, discipline, and creating that path. Okay, it talks about all these things. Maybe I should have named it something cooler, but it's warfare. It's warfare. We're in it. And the thing is that what I'm outlining, because I've played every play in my mind that you can think of, how to stop what's coming, but you can't. It's already been written. It's already been written. You just have to prepare for the worst. Okay. Be better than the next man. That's why you have to stay ready, stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Black Scout out.